and then we'll start talking. In the middle, it'll show like the amount of people that are viewing. Then they go back and they watch it, and then we'll stay up for the next like 24 to 48 hours.
No, you don't have to.
There's the first one.
Nice.
2. All right, welcome everyone to another edition of Coffee with the Trainer. My name is Mike Hartman. I'm the owner of Formal Fitness Training. This is Coffee with the Trainer 9.0. If you are new to the show, Coffee with the Trainer is a Facebook Live and a podcast where you can ask your questions right there on the screen, and myself and my guest will get to them during the show. We normally have some questions that have been scripted throughout the week. People ask us questions all the time. Today I am joined by none other than Mike Gwyn from Muscle Perfection. How you doing, Mike?
Good to see you, Mike.
Thanks for joining us today. Mike and I go way back. We've been training the same circuit here around Berks County for I've been 13 years. You've been training a little bit longer than me.
A little bit longer than that, but I've known you for like 10 years, same facilities. Great man.
Yeah, likewise. I mean, Mike and I, we share a couple clients, and we have similar ideas about fitness and the way it should be done. And today we're going to try and spread some of that knowledge to you guys. So Mike, tell them a little bit about yourself and just introduce yourself if they don't know you.
All right. How you doing, guys? Mike Gwyn. I moved to Pennsylvania about 11 years ago. I met Mike maybe 8 years ago at LA Fitness, and we were just branching out, getting new to training in Pennsylvania. I'm from New York. Worked at Equinox, New York Sports Club, Crunch. I moved down here for a slower pace of life, and I got with LA Fitness, and I met you, and since then I worked at local gyms, and now I finally branched off to myself, Muscle Perfection, and it's just something we have for us. We're training and running our own business. We talk to people every day, and it's great. It's something that we could do and do anywhere. I can move to California right now, take my Surge, take my business LLC, and I'm up and running.
So true. So true.
And that's pretty cool.
Yeah, this guy has energy that's like unmatched by anybody else. I always give you accolades because you're the one person I know that literally can talk to anybody. You're in the gym and you're literally talking to everybody all day, and everybody feels good about you, man. Like you treat everybody right. You treat the way you're supposed to be treated, and you respect everybody, and like that's such a good thing. Just watching him go around and help people. Like he's helping people that aren't paying him all the time, saying, "Hey, try this a little bit differently." And that's something that I do as well. And I think that's the way. We're not in this industry just to make money. We're in this industry to help people.
No.
That's the number one reason.
Yeah, and it spreads positive energy when people are around you and they're hurting or they feel like they're not welcome. It sets for a low tone, and the gym is our home. That's our office. That's office,
Yep.
And my office should be positive. So a lot of times, high five, singing, dancing, and working out, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you notice, this is a different location for Coffee with the Trainer. Today we're at the Good Life Fitness Institute. Tony Lano was gracious enough to allow us to come in here and film the podcast and the Coffee with the Trainer. This is a great facility. I mean, Tony's going to come on at the end. He's going to talk to you a little bit about this company. Good Life Organics is here. Shout out to Joel Merceri and Connor Delaney, who owns the building. Just a lot of cool stuff happening here in Berks County. So keep your eyes out on that if you want a good juice or come out and check out some muscle activation therapy.
I got some, yeah.
Tony would be the place to see for that, and Joel for the food. So we have 5 questions that have came to us over the past week or so from clients, and we're going to answer those first. Mike will answer some, I'll answer some. And again, if you have any additional questions, you can put them on the bottom. What's up, Mike? How you doing?
Good Mike.
So first question, should I perform exercises with a spotter, and how do I remain safe without a spotter?
Spotter's always great if you're going for max reps to failure, or if you're doing max weight for more mass or volume. If you don't have a spotter, you might want to drop the weight or use a Smith machine. Nowadays, people are using more like bands to help them leverage stuff. It's great. I mean, one part about actually finding a spotter, someone you trust, and that tends to stir up a relationship. In the gym.
Yeah.
So you don't have to work out with someone, but like, hey, Bob, give me a spot. And before you know it, you got your spotter for that time. But I definitely wouldn't try and do anything strenuous without one. Just doesn't pay.
Yeah.
You want to live to come back to be in the gym tomorrow.
Absolutely. And he says about the Smith machine, we don't have a good example behind us here, but Smith machine has these little racks that you put across that basically when you drop the bar to a certain level, it's going to stop where that bar is. And when you don't have a spotter, that's a great thing, because if for some reason you fail, you're not dropping it on your chest, you're just dropping it on the bar there. And even if you are going to ask a spotter, as Mike said, find somebody that you trust, number one, and then they should be asking you a few questions when
How
they're
many
going to
reps
spot
you want? You want to lift?
Yep.
You know, force reps, which definitely helps, but you don't want to help someone too much if they're trying to get their extra, stress release off and have them extended or come up with it.
Yeah, so if you're asking for a spotter, take your headphones out for a couple seconds and be clear with what you're looking for. Say, I'm going for 3 reps, and tell them that you want a 3 count to pick up the bar, and tell them if you've done that previously. If this is a new record for you, it's something that you have to tell them about. It's just something you're shooting for. Don't expect the spotter to do the work. Pick weights that you're assuming that you can handle 80, 90% of the workload at least by the 4th or the 5th rep.
A lot of time a good spot is mental.
Yeah.
You have some people down there, hey, give me a spot, I want 10, they'll only getting 12 just because you're there.
Yeah.
And by themselves, they're kind of shaky the last couple of reps.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're, be mindful of who you're picking as your spotter. If you're lifting, a 400-pound bench press, find somebody that, looks like they could help you out in the event of an emergency.
200 pounds up.
Yeah. And how do I properly spot? That's just one of those things where it's on an exercise by exercise basis. Basically, use the biomechanics of your body. Keep the bar as close to yourself as you can. And be mindful of who you're spotting. If you're spotting, a guy on a squat. Here, I'll just do a 1 rep here. Mike will show you how you would properly spot a guy on a squat. So if I come here and I get under the bar.
I got 2 ways of doing it. I can stand behind Mike, hands upon my chest. Mike, you want to step out for a second?
Sure.
Step out towards me and turn to the left. There you go. Good. So I possibly, old school learning, come down. He comes down, I'm underneath him, and I can use his hips or his armpits, one or the other. I can use his hips, come on down, or his armpits, one or the other. Good.
Now, what would you do if you were spotting a woman?
Perfectly the same thing. I'm very professional. Finger cues if I need to be. Sometimes, sometimes it just depends on the woman, how, if she's comfortable or not, okay? But most of the time, by the time you're with someone or you have someone you trust, they should feel comfortable. And it's all business.
Yep.
It's all, hey, you come down, I come down with you, hands on hips or perhaps underneath the armpits, depending on how heavy the weight is.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's for the spotting of the squat. Bench press, if you're doing a normal neutral grip bench press, your hands will be close to the center. You're going to squat down, helping to pick them up. Keep your back flat. Don't pick it up like this. Keep your back flat and just kind of go with the bar. That's how you spot a bench?
Definitely. With the bar, sometimes if it might be dumbbells, sometimes even the elbows right there. Some people don't want a lot of help. It all depends on the person. You'll figure that out quick, Like, hey, I'm good.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
Look at that, curling 300 pounds like it's nothing.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, Tammy, what's going on? Happy Friday to you as well. All right, so we were talking about this the other day. We were saying how there's so many different lifting devices that people are using in the gym these days. Your weight belts, your wraps, your VersaGrips, chalk. Should the general population be using lifting devices on a regular basis?
That's opinionated. Most of the time, you do want to try and maximize your own strength and your own agilities to stability, coordination. Maybe your max sets on benching, squatting, even the leg press perhaps. Maybe you might want to use a bench. A lot of times you're trying to build your own natural strength. Wrist wraps, hey, you got issues, so be it. You could definitely lift more, press more, control more, but you might be losing a percentage of forearms or stabilizer muscles that you want to develop to actually move further anyway.
Absolutely.
So if you're wearing this stuff the whole time, it might not be as effective, or you might not see the progression as quick because you're using these accessories. You said something about pre-workout. I think you did. Yeah, it's pretty cool. a lot of people here have different shifts, so it depends on what your level of energy might be. It could be a natural pre-workout. It doesn't always have to be something that you find in a can or a bottle or whatever the case may be. I use them sometimes because you're low in energy. I try not to depend on it too much, and not too many things with too much caffeine or too much sugar to where I might even end up crashing or not.
Yeah, absolutely. Pre-workouts, getting yourself ready for your workout and dialing yourself in. If you're having a low energy day, obviously that's a great option to get yourself going. But with the lifting devices and things like that, again, you're talking about weight belts. He was talking about stabilizing muscles and things like that, and I really don't recommend weight belts unless you're doing lower than 5 reps. Like if you're doing 1, 2, 3, or 4 rep maxes or 5 rep standard 5x5 type of training. Maybe then you can use it, but if you're getting in there and doing 135 on a squat or 135 on a bench press and your 1 rep max is 300, you don't need the belt at that moment.
No.
Use your core. A lot of people ask us that constantly as well, where they're like, do I need to train abs on a regular basis? And it's like, well, truthfully, it's good to do certain ab movements, planks, side planks, things like that. But if you're benching heavy and you're lifting heavy, you don't need to do a lot of crunches and things like that. I mean, do you have differing opinions on that, or what do you think?
Well, if I'm understanding the question correctly, should I be working abs, or should I be wearing a belt?
Do you need to do abs in addition to heavy weight training if you're not wearing a belt? And if so, how much?
All right. Well, I definitely include abs in a routine of most of myself and my clients. Not every day. I don't see my clients every day. As far as I'm concerned, because it's the business, I work my abs every day, unfortunately. Yeah. But the abs need rest like anything else. But if I'm lifting heavy, I would still want to keep my abs strong to be able to handle any type of agility coordination, which most people should be doing, and max lifting. So my abs are included in a deadlift. My abs are included in the bench, and if I'm feeling really good, sometimes I might move or adjust my feet to where my abs are more engaged anyway, whether it be close together up on the bench, or if curling on a bow suit. My abs are definitely included. But once again, I'm not maxing out there anyway. But to answer your question, yeah, I would do abs even if I am using a weight belt and lifting heavy, for sure, me personally.
Yeah, and so what he's saying there, if I'm interpreting correctly, is you're only as strong as your weakest link. If you don't train your abs, your deadlift's not going to be as strong as it could be.
I mean, people don't like to work their calves.
Yeah.
Like, oh, my calves are big enough. But size comes with everything else.
Yep.
But strength is different.
Absolutely.
And your calves are included in jump rope, squats, lunges, walking up steps. So, hey, why not include them?
Absolutely. Yeah, and what he was saying is, with his clients is, it's an intensity technique too. So you might do a bench press, a bent over row, and then you jump down and you do some crunches, or you do planks, something like that. Just keeps the workout flowing, so you're burning more calories and activating more muscle tissue.
Hell yeah, definitely.
So the way to go. So we see a lot in the gym. We're both in the gym probably combined 100, 120 hours a week, if you break it down. So gym etiquette. What somebody that's a beginner and they go in a gym, we'll just give them some grassroots things of what they absolutely should be doing when they're in a gym, and some things that they shouldn't be doing.
I'm a big fan of, no matter what your goals are, to warm up first. I see a lot of people, they'll come to the gym and go straight to the weights. And that's mostly obviously men. Not obviously, most of the time it's men. Even, whoever, you want your warm-up to varietize, because you don't want to, now it's not a warm-up anymore. Now it's what you do. It's like brushing your teeth. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm definitely big on the warm-up. And what was the other question? I'm sorry.
Yeah, so just like gym etiquette. One of the things that people do that kind of drives you nuts as a trainer that we need to kind of do a better job at. We're not going to throw anybody under the bus. We're just doing generals here.
Well, you always want to clean up after yourself, maybe re-rack your weights, whatever the case may be. I'm to warm up.
That works too.
I tell you what, something that really sometimes annoys some of my clients is where people work out right in front of the rack of the dumbbells.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? That's kind of, noise level, people get in their zone. We've seen it all. It's cool. The gym etiquette is letting people be themselves.
Yep.
People really shouldn't, get too upset if someone's clapping a little loud or yelling, Now, if you're affecting someone else's workout, I understand. But, hey, everybody's got their own way of getting excited, So gym etiquette could go a lot of different things, but just if everyone's courteous to each other, no matter what they're doing, it should be no problem.
Yeah, and people in the gym love enthusiasm. So if you're doing a real heavy set, you give a little grunt at the end, and you get up and you go, yeah, woo! Like, we like that. But it's when you're grunting and growling every single rep and just throwing your weights. I mean, yeah, if you're lifting heavy weights, you're going to set them down. It's going to sound loud no matter what you do. But you don't need to throw them across the room and impact somebody else's work.
I tell you what you find now. A lot of times you have people supersetting or triple setting, and I'm a big believer, if you leave a machine, you can lose it.
Yeah.
And it's okay once you've accepted it. Whether hey, Mike, you might have to work in, or I've lost it, one or the other. But I can't be upset if someone comes in of my superset, especially at a busy hour. So, once again, gym etiquette is like, hey, willing to be like, hey, leave the ego at home at the front door and be like, oh, you working there? Okay, or can I work with you? That always helps. But a lot of people are doing more in the activity work now, so it'll be from squats to jump rope to chest press, which is great. But you got to be willing sometimes to lose that machine, or even just working with somebody.
Yeah, and I think that's really true. And you kind of find out that, we're in the gym together at the same time with maybe 8 or 9 other trainers, and somehow we manage to coordinate and stay friendly with each other and get everything done. So that's another thing. Like, talk to each other and be like, hey, can I work in? Most people are going to be cool about it, and you might meet your next best friend in the gym.
A lot of times it forces you to do something different.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing anyway. If you're forced to do something different, it's all the better, So.
Yeah, and that's a point too. If you're starting a new program, I mean, we see a lot of people come into the gym, they do the same thing all the time for years. If you're doing a bench press, go on the Google machine or talk to one of us and say, hey, how else can I bench press? Okay, you can do cable bench press, you can do dumbbell bench press, kettlebell deadlift, bench press.
On the floor, on the ball.
Yeah, there's a million ways you can do each exercise, so don't feel like you have to use that same ab machine every time you go to the gym. There's variety in there for a reason. Blair asked the question, he says, I'm not sore after my workout, am I doing too little?
Ooh.
That's a good question.
All right. Well, I don't know Blair, but it depends on what his goals are. And this is fitness is a lifestyle. So you don't have to be sore after every workout. You get in, you put your time in, keep it moderate, you leave to fight another day. You do want to be sore at least maybe 3-4 times out of the month, but it doesn't have to be every workout. If you find yourself not sore, hey, you need change. More sets maybe, more reps maybe, walk into a different room. You might even different playlists.
Yeah.
Even your playlist could be different.
Yep.
Me and Mike go to different gyms all the time. There's a different vibe. I get a great pump at this one. I get a great cardio workout this one. Those who know me know I'm lying, but different. Blair, definitely, man. Look into change.
Yep.
Consistent change is how you consistently see your body change. Take a Zumba class, take a yoga class, cardio for 1 hour, one machine, cardio for 1 hour, 4 different machines. 10 sets of 10 on squat, that's always fun. 10 sets of anything, it's fun. So it's about change, Blair.
Yeah, Blair's a runner, and he's in the weight room as well, but he does a lot of 5Ks and 10Ks and things like that. He's been working through some injuries and things like that along the way, but I would take a look at your volume. If your goal is to be sore and to get a little more muscular damage, focus on adding a few more sets per body part.
Or you book a session with someone to bust your butt once in a while, just to make sure you can be pushed to your limit.
Yep.
A lot of people can't push themselves to the limit and then feel like, hey, I haven't done enough.
Yeah.
But you're limping the next day, or I could have done more. Well, it's true, but sometimes, hey, sign up for something different. I'm guaranteed. Iron yoga.
Yeah.
Get you sore.
Yeah. Yeah, and I always say that soreness is not always an indicator of
a good workout.
Mike and I actually, as you get a little older, when you get over maybe that 26-year-old mark and then you start getting more sore, you start losing a little flexibility and things like that, our goal is to recover faster. So our goal is to not be sore or not be sore a lot.
As much, right.
So we're doing foam rolling, myofascial release techniques, massage, stretching, yoga, sauna.
That's a whole nother part of fitness people are really slacking in. We want people to work hard, but it's as far as you work, you have to increase your nutrients. You have to increase your water, your stretching, your physical, your therapeutic therapy.
Yeah.
That's as important. And you see it, you'll see like Tom Brady after the press conference with the ice on.
Yeah.
Well, nothing wrong with the shoulder. It's just a precaution, Prehab. As opposed to rehab.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then if you have to go to rehab to rehabilitate something, then it's post-hab, trying to get where you were and beyond and better every single day. So we touched on pre-workouts a little bit, and if you're on a low-energy day and things like that, that's a good idea to do. But how do you instruct your clients to properly fuel their workouts and recover from their workouts? Because people are all the time, they're like, do I need protein? Do I need pre-workouts? Do I need creatine? And is that better than whole foods? It's an ongoing debate.
Yeah, and that's why that's a touchy subject nowadays. I saw on CNN, eggs aren't good for you.
All of a sudden, again.
Yep. All right, and it sort of trends back and forth. Aspirin, protein, right after the workout. Don't do it. Intermittent fasting. So there's a lot going on these days. I always try and play it safe. You should have something in your system.
Yep.
I'm not talking about a full meal, something in your system, unless you're doing intermittent fasting. After the workout, I'm hungry.
Yeah.
I need to feed those muscles. I don't want to wait. I don't want to feel lightheaded. If it's a good workout, I need to fuel myself with something. Always water with me during the workout, prior to. It's really an individual type of thing, and also the intensity of the workout. I don't expect anyone to run 4 or 5 miles on an empty stomach safely.
Yeah.
But there are people who do it, and they feel cool with it. So I can't really advise anyone about that, other than my clients, to say, hey, I'm watching you, you're looking sort of lightheaded,
Yep.
or I think you need more energy, then let's pick something up in the morning or in the afternoon before you come see me. But I definitely leave it to people's better discretion. We're all grown, we're all smart, just be safe, if you're feeling lightheaded, even in the mix of the workout, say you're not eating nothing. Hey, let me sit down for a second, put some water on my neck, put my feet up, okay? These are the things that one should know when that cold sweat breaks out, or you can't hear me anymore,
Yep.
when stuff like that happens, you want to definitely take a rest, get maybe some good sugar, and keep it moving.
Yeah, and to the point of sugar, I'm kind of a scientific nerd, so I kind of do the research about like what they're saying currently is the most efficient for post-workout recovery. And as of right now, it looks like a whey protein isolate and a dexanhydrase glucose, together actually is the best way to, the glucose shuttles the protein into your muscle cells that are currently active and open. So that's going to start your recovery right then and there. Then 1 hour later is when you get the highest insulin spike, and it's the most appropriate time for a full meal. So protein shake, some carbs after your workout. That can even be a banana if you don't want to go spend the money on the glucose, but have like a whey protein isolate with a banana. Then an hour later, have your lunch, have your dinner. That's going to be one of those things that's really going to help your recovery and start maximizing your muscle building potential.
I also think with bloatation too.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't want to do a protein shake in the meal right away afterward anyway.
Yeah.
I feel kind of sluggish after that. So I would definitely space that out in between for sure.
Yeah.
That sounds great. Where are we going after this?
That's right. Where are we going to eat after this? So we have one more question, then we're going to go into some form checking type of things and ways to extend your sets for your arms. So we have a lot of busy clients. We all have people that are slammed at work. They put in their 60, 70 hours a week. They have kids. They travel. They do all these things. I got this question the other day, and I answered it the way I did, but I figured we're going to ask Mike. So I have 2 hours per week to work out. That's it. Where would I put most of my effort, and can I get results that way?
Well, first, you can't limit on the time you have to work out. This is something you make time for. So even if you happen to do things, hey, I do 50 squats in the morning, midday I'm touching my toes 3 times, at night I'm doing crunches. If for any type of goal achievement, you have to put time in. So to put a limitation on that right away, you're limiting yourself to your goals. So that person, whoever it might be, situation might be, one is finding time to get it in. You don't always need a gym to work out. So that's a beautiful thing.
That's
so,
for sure.
Like you could be, in a bedroom, you could be in a kitchen, you could be in a garage, backyard, as the weather gets nicer. So, I mean, you find your best way to get in and you do what's effective for you, and probably at a higher intensity because your time is limited. So, I mean, you try doing jumping jacks for a minute straight and see how you feel, or squats for 30 seconds, down to push-ups for 30 seconds, four intervals. You know, it's really not about sometimes the amount of time; it's the quality of the workout for your body type. So it's never about finding the time and what
2 hours per week.
2 hours, yeah. I couldn't really swallow that as a trainer. You know what I mean? I mean, we're all busy. Kids, work, school, blah, 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 blah. So, but doctor tells you you're going to die in 2 months unless you lose some weight. People find the time. Hey, I'm going to Hawaii next week. People start finding the time.
Yeah.
So it's about setting the priorities and making the time.
Yeah, that's true. And his point with the high intensity intervals, the intensity is going to be higher when you only have 10 minutes. Science basically shows that a 4 to 8 minute cardio where you're doing 90% for 30 seconds and then you drop it down to 60%, you actually burn more fat than a 60-minute walk.
And then you ask, should I have something in my stomach at that time? Well, you could, but you definitely could do that type of workout less fueled, you know? And should I stretch after that? Well, you should. So you want to make the time to say, after I did all that, could I reward myself with a stretch? Because this is a job where you don't see instant gratification all the time.
No.
You know, your body fat drops sometime before your weight does, but your clothes fit better, you feel more better. I'm definitely not a number person on scale, and flexibility definitely is a way to see an increase in strength. People don't understand how valuable that is, you know, being flexible. Hey, Mike, touch your toes. That's not really what I'm looking for. You know what I mean? It's something more like that.
Yeah, and we could go down a rabbit hole about different diets and things like that. But he was saying about working out on an empty stomach, intermittent fasting, all those things. And at the end of the day, there's a lot of diets that are being kind of thrown and jabbed down our throats right now. But the diet for you is the diet that you can sustain, the diet that you can consistently do and feel the best on.
I'm sorry. I'm big on wordplay these days.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be diet. It'd be a way of eating. Lifestyle.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. And that's why it's actually, because whoever is watching, they hear diet, they start feeling restricted or compelled for a certain time. So when you're eating for a lifestyle, you continue to eat for that lifestyle. You know what I mean? And that's hard, because we've learned diet for diet soda, diet this, diet that. So, but even with wordplay, I try and be very careful with the people I talk to, because it sinks in more than we think. You know, I don't want to diet. How can I diet Monday through Saturday? Or, you know what I mean? So I try and use like lifestyle. So.
Yeah, well, what I say a lot of times is just keep in mind the 80-20 rule. So if your day-to-day life, if you're getting 10 meals in every 2 days, let's make sure 8 of those meals are high-quality foods, and maybe 1 or 2 snacks are maybe not so good for you. That's okay.
I'm more like 30-70.
Yeah, 30-70, because you're maintaining. You know, you're maintaining and making improvements. But if you have 50 pounds to lose, you want to be closer to 85-15 or 90-10 for a time. But if you go on vacation, you know, live your life too. You got to enjoy yourself too. You don't do all this work in the gym, at work, and everything like that, not to enjoy yourself. The ice cream cone's not going to kill you. Just make sure you're putting the work in advance and follow the 80-20 rule, 70-30, whatever it may be.
Yeah, you know.
You know? As one of our previous guests, Danielle, says all the time, if you're going to drink, have a glass of water in between each one.
Right.
At least stay hydrated and prevent the nasty effects from it.
So much. Flushing out caked up protein, maybe from food or synthetic, salt, bacteria. So when you increase your water, just that simple thing, increasing your water, is major, you know. And people are like, oh, I drink 6 bottles a day, I drink 7 bottles a day. Well, now if you're working out hard, that should shoot up anyway. So don't continue drinking 6, 7 if that's what you've been doing. Now you're doing more effort on the other end. You know, so now it goes up to just a gallon if you can, which is very hard, by the way. It's very hard to do.
Oh yeah. And then get a nice gallon jug if you're going to shoot for a gallon a day and carry it around. Who cares if it looks cliche? If you're not getting it in, you got to get it in.
Well, it's all about you.
So that's all our questions that we have currently. You can pop them up as we're doing the next segment here. If you have something pressing that you would like answered. Now we're going to go over just some form checks on a few exercises and things that we see people doing incorrectly all the time. So Mike is going to demonstrate for you some squats and lunges and then I'm going to go over and show you some rope press downs, some bicep curls, some shoulder presses, and we're going to show you some of the incorrect form we see and ways to clean it up.
Sounds good. What do you want me to know about that? I think one of the easiest ways to learn to do a proper lunge is maybe start backwards, which is kind of funny, but it sets me up to where I can be straight down, straight up. A lot of times I give my people that Tony Atlas type of structure where it's not putting pressure on my back, or I'm definitely not rounded, or too much pressure on my knee. So if I'm standing here, almost like a little dance, I step back, boom, 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 come back up. As far as walking lunges, it's a little more forward action, so you want a little bit of hang time. I want to come down once again, find myself in this leverage position here, right about there. It's hard to go forward and not go forward. See this a lot. I mean, I never use the word incorrect. It just might not be as safe as you want it to be for yourself, okay? As far as squats, there's a lot of different squats you can do. You have your standard, you have your close leg. Shout out to Madison, you have your single leg pistol squats.
Oh yeah.
She killed that, you see that?
Oh yeah.
And you got your sumo or plie squats. All the demonstrations that I just did, my knees are still somewhat behind my toes, maybe even my shoelace. Even on the hardest one, if it's not for me, it's not for me. So sometimes you see people trying to do exercises they're not ready for, they haven't graduated to yet. Doing body weight squats, I don't need a spotter, but I do want a mirror to see if I am not in the right position. So now the mirror becomes my spotter and or trainer. So if I'm coming down like this is a squat, of course, mostly used outdoors. This might be the one it's mostly used in a gym setting. Sounds good?
Absolutely.
All right.
All right, and then I'm gonna just point over there.
What do we got now?
All right, so now we're gonna do the tricep press down. We're just trying some different stuff this time on the Coffee with the Trainer because we're actually in a gym setting, so we figure we'll show you some things that will actually bring you some value that you wouldn't otherwise see when we're sitting behind a desk and giving you some information from that standpoint. So now I'm going to show the tricep press down. Biggest issue I see with this is the movement in the elbow. When you're doing a tricep press down, everything wants to be locked in and straight down.
Should I lock my elbows out, Michael?
You want your elbow to always remain soft. You don't want to completely lock it out. So this is a soft elbow, this is a locked elbow. You want to stop right about here. And so you want to come up to the top, come down, keep it soft, stop it right here.
Mike, hold it for 1 second. See what you did though? See, because you're skilled.
Yeah.
When you locked out your elbow, your tension was on your tricep.
Yep.
So even if I am locking out, my focus wants to be on the muscle, not just pushing my arm to extension. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times, misconception of words, don't lock out. On the one you did lock out, your bulging triceps, you could see your horseshoe because you were contracting there on the lockout. I'm not just letting it go, I have a focus.
Yep. Mind-muscle connection too. So this is another one of those exercises where you're looking at 12 to 20 reps. I really don't believe in doing 2 or 3 reps for tricep press downs. That's a lot of tension for such a small muscle group. So again, elbows are locked into the sides. You're coming down, keeping that elbow soft, squeezing that tricep, and then back up. And you want to keep a nice even pace. So you're not doing this, you're not flopping around, your elbows are tight and straight down. Now the exact opposite of that is a cable bicep curl where the same rules apply. So when your elbows are in your side and you're doing a curl, you don't want to lock the elbows at the bottom. You want to keep them soft, bring them up to your shoulders, hold the peak contraction for a second, and then slowly bring it down. So you don't want to be doing this. When you do that, you get your front deltoid involved, you get your chest involved, and then you're opening your shoulder and your elbows up for risk of injury.
When would you exhale, Michael?
So you exhale on the exertion of every exercise. So the up, and then inhale on the negative portion. So that's going to look like this. Another exercise I don't believe you should be doing less than 10 reps on. Keep your elbows in, bring it up to your shoulders, pause, bring it down, and lock and load from there.
I noticed that your knees are slightly bent. Is that the way I want to stand?
Yeah, you always want to keep your knees slightly bent as well, because that's taking the pressure off your lower back and making sure that you're able to move the weight through an effective way. Now Mike's going to show you a shoulder press over here. That's good. All right, and now Mike's going to show you some things that go wrong with a shoulder press and proper way to execute a shoulder press. Then we're going to show you some intensity techniques where you can take your arm training to the next level. I'm actually going to have Mike train me.
Shoulder press, similar to like you said with the curls and the triceps, you do want to be in a stance. Sometimes it's going to set you up for more stable and less pressure on your back. So a lot of times, you know, people are pressing like this. I wouldn't say wrong, but I would say not safest. You know, I mean, you want to be almost like militant almost, chin chin, or you could go soft knees, chin up, chest high, shoulder press. On dumbbells are always easier, I think, because you know, you have a chance to see which arm is weaker or stronger. Some of the shoulder press machines tend to force your elbows back in an inclined position, which can be bad for this area here, as opposed to dumbbells. If a shoulder press is this, I don't want to look like that in the machine. That's inclined. Cool.
Yep. So when you're staying at attention with the shoulder press, what are you doing with your glutes when you're pulling everything tight?
They're tucked in.
So if you're flexing the abs, squeezing the glutes.
Right. And even some people who are new to the gym, you say flex, they start pushing out. You say tucked in, they start caving in. I just say firm, you know, because there should be no over exaggeration. A lot of times, you guys looking for tighter stomachs. Single arm exercises. You know, now my obliques are working tougher, obviously. Honorable Sue, reverse grip.
Yep.
Frontal farmer grip. So that's pretty cool. This one. Really hate this one. I don't know about this. Maybe something like that for rear delts, but once again, it's not about my shoulders, it's about how I'm setting myself up. So I definitely want to do my rear delts like this 3 times out of the month. I either probably want to be like this, or maybe even laying on a bench. If I don't have the strength to straighten my back out, I might want to use a bench or to stand tall with bands. You mentioned something else.
So when you tell somebody to brace their core, do you mean they should pull their belly button to their spine, or do you mean they should flex like somebody's going to punch them in the stomach?
Well, see, either way, depending on the person, their gym knowledge and IQ, they're like, oh, I'm flexed my stomach, or I tucked it in. Just firm.
Firm.
You met someone, hey, how you doing? It's firm.
Yep.
You know, just firm. I can't say flex it, because some people will be like, my stomach's flexed, so I just got to be careful. But yes, firm. I would try and get it equal. There you
Absolutely.
go.
Right in between the two.
Right in between the two.
All right, so now I'm going to have Mike run me through a quick arm workout here where we are going to show you drop sets, super sets, rest pause, partials, and negatives. So we're just going to do some arm workouts here. We're going to tell you exactly what we're doing. So this is one of those things that you can try out when you're in the gym just to take your workout to the next level. The way you get better is to completely adapt and keep changing your workout on a regular basis.
So give me a good stance.
All right.
And give me 10 reps.
So right here we're doing a dumbbell bicep curl.
And depending on what exercise this is for you, the second, third, or fourth for your bicep curls is how you would adjust your weight, okay? There's nothing wrong with lifting medium to light weight to engage the muscle stabilizers and everything else that goes with it, even including breathing. 10?
Yep.
Drop them. I didn't mean drop them literally, obviously, he put them down. Let's go for 10. Now, normally in a pyramid up, you might be doing more weight less reps, but I know you're tough. So we're gonna try and shoot for 10 all the way up, okay? What happens if I don't get 10 here? I have two options. I can take a break, 7 and 3, 8 and 2, 5 and 5, or I could go back down to my medium weight and burn out more of those. And this would be your pyramid up. So obviously a pyramid down, he would start with the heavies, work his way down. The more weight he has, probably the lower the numbers. But Mikey's gonna bang this out for intimate weight going for 10 reps. Good. As he works hard, he starts to focus more and breathe deeper. Good man. Good, 10. All right, I'm gonna give him a breather. A good way to work biceps are to put your muscles under stress. So I'm gonna hold this one and work one. Put myself in a stance, breathe on the way up, exhale on the way down, then I might switch. It's good to see you have a focus point like you had. Some people, like I said, this is not really conducive to our lifestyle, and hey, let's maybe get 8 together. So there's different techniques. So is my isometric, a partial, and a full range of motion. Good. Mikey's gonna go with hammer curls. So let's say he did 2 drop sets. Now we're on hammer curls, which specifically help what? Your forearms and your wrists. So depending on lifestyle, carpal tunnel, sleeping on your wrist, doing the dishes. Anybody do dishes anymore? No. All right. So forearms are very important, just like your calves. Helps hold the weight on a deadlift or helps hold the weight on a lat pull down. So your forearms are just as important. They don't have to be big, but you want them symmetrical.
The thing I like about hammer curls is it hits the brachialis muscle, which is under your brachii, which actually makes your arms look bigger. Who doesn't want bigger arms, especially when you're a man? Some women do too.
Or more defined.
Yeah, we're more defined.
We're more defined, definitely. All right, so also you have your reverse, which helps. Pretty good, all right? Anything else you want, Mike?
So there's a couple different things out there called, rest pause. And then there's super rest pause. So if I was going to have Mike do a super rest pause for bicep curls, basically I would give him these 25s. He would do 1 rep first. So he's going to do 1 rep straight up, stopping at the bottom. He's going to count to 1.
1.
Now he's going to do 2 reps.
2.
Set it down, rest for 2 seconds.
1, 2.
Now he's going to do 3
That
reps.
sounds fun.
Yeah. And then he counts to 3. We're doing this all the way until we get to 10.
3. We won't be.
Yeah.
4. 3. I tend to count backwards sometimes. 2 for goal setting.
Yep.
1.
And a 4-second rest. So yeah, that's the idea. Super rest pause, you can do it inverse and reverse. So you can do 1 to 10 or 10 to 1. So if you were doing 10 to 1, you would start with 10 reps and then drop down to 9 reps, 8 reps. I mean, I already have a pump and I just did like 2 or 3 exercises right there. So if you're engaging the muscle tissue, it shouldn't take a long time to get a small muscle engaged. Mike is now up to, I believe, 6. So he would count to 6.
Now, what if you got tired?
And if you get tired, you can drop down to a lower weight, but just keep going. So he's going to drop down to a lower weight, down to 20. So this is a drop set within a super rest pause. So you can see where you can kind of combine all these things to get a desired effect. Mike has some of the nicest peaks you'll ever see on a bicep.
Uh-oh.
How do you
start that stuff?
How do you target the peak, Mike? So what are the ways that you can get more of a peak when you're working out?
Just like the pauses you said, we've been working out for so long, your body does adapt to just lifting. Most people don't understand the concept of, I gotta do something different. A lot of times, I'll even convert my reverse lunge by isometric curls. Pausing, stretching, flexibility. Some people cannot straighten their arms out, which gives me lack of range of motion. So once again, flexibility comes into a big part of your definition or symmetry.
Yeah, you talked about that earlier. The more flexibility you have, the better your range of motion is going to be within a given movement. Now, so how would you combine some of this stuff for an overhead tricep movement? So if you wanted to get a nice pump in the triceps real quick, what would you recommend if you just have a few dumbbells laying around?
Like I said, dumbbells are one of the better things. You could do actually more with them. I can do a kickback, back is straight to overhead press, which will be a forward, and then I have a flush one. So that's 3 different exercises,
Three
all
different heads.
3 different heads.
Yep.
All right, and if I'm feeling really good, drop down, tricep push-ups. So that's 4 different exercises, all geared towards my triceps. And seeing how they're dumbbells, they all included my whole body as a unit. Want to see it again?
So that was just giving you some ways to extend your sets. Just keep your workouts different. Keep them guessing. Look at it as I always say this, and people say I'm a nerd when I say this, but look at your fitness as you look at the stock market. Don't just pick Apple stock and just leave all your money in Apple stock. Make sure you have a diversified portfolio. Make sure you're trying different things, and then you're just going to build a bigger, stronger body from the ground up. And like Mike said earlier, don't forget your calves. Don't forget your forearms, rotator cuffs, abs, and even your brain.
Or even put it on your calendar. Today, chest and biceps. Tomorrow, yoga, spin. Like, the redundancy of what goes on in the gym is what kills people the most. If not, no results, injury. From wear and tear on the same movements. So, when you put it on your calendar, okay, today's my week I do all cardio, today's the week I do all dumbbells, or today's the week I run. And, anything that you don't like to do probably works.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, because almost everybody hates doing squats
or something. I like squats.
Well, most guys I train, when I first start with them, they're like, I hate squats, I hate deadlifts. But that's where you're releasing the growth hormone, testosterone. That's where a lot of your muscle growth is going to come from.
Get a nice butt.
And get a nice butt. Yeah.
I mean, for women or guys or whoever.
Yeah, either way, everybody likes a nice butt.
The butt is a muscle, and it is round. It does not have to be flat.
Yep.
Or it doesn't have to be weak. And the weaker your glutes are, I think the weaker your chances of your lower back being weaker too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, it protects the back, protects your hips. So when sometimes a lot of people have trouble doing the abduction abductor, and they're great machines. And I hear some gentlemen say, oh, that's a chick machine. No, that definitely helps with my speed, flexibility, my close-legged squat, my wide-legged squat, my single-leg deadlifts, my pistol squats, all from those machines right there.
Yeah, I used to work out with this one bodybuilder over at LA Fitness. Shout out to Chad Keiss. And he used to make me do 20 abductions, which is bringing your legs in, 20 adductions, then light hamstring curls, light leg extensions. We would do 4 sets of that, of 20 reps of each before we would even start the leg workout. So my legs were fried before we even started, and he was never all about the weight. He was about continuing the stress on the actual muscle tissue and not the joints and the ligaments. So that's the key. So we covered a lot of ground here today. So if you have any last minute questions, pop them up there. I'm just going to give Mike a second to talk about himself, where you can find him. You can find us both at Why I'm Missing Fitness and Training. And Mike, you can take it from here.
Yeah, I work at a number of gyms. I'm at Keys Fitness, YO. I work out at Goals. I work out at Warehouse. I visit LA from time to time because you need change.
Yep.
Not that any one gym is better than the other. I just like change. Every gym has something different for me to progress. So it's definitely Facebook. I'm a friend of you. I'm a friend of Facebook. Friend of all the gyms I work in. Yeah, you can find me anywhere, so definitely.
Yeah, so Muscle Perfection, Mike Gwyn. Thanks to Good Life Fitness Institute and Good Life Financial, Good Life Organics, everything for allowing us to come in here today. We'll check with you guys soon. Thanks for tuning in.